Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. There's a couple people I'm still waiting for, but good morning to everybody. And we got a couple new people, or people who haven't been on here for a long time. So, and we don't have a really long meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and let you each say hi just really quickly and tell us which business you're associated with. And we'll start with Missy, since her and I were sitting here talking.
Hi, everyone. I'm Missy, and I own Handmade with Love right in downtown on Bay Street. That was quick.
Monica?
I'm Monica Adams. I am a certified health coach, and I am a massage therapist, and I'm just about a half mile up from downtown.
And Chris?
Christine Stansberry with the City Museum and Arts Association.
Monica and Chris are both board members for POBSA. Sharon?
Sharon King, Chair of Fathoms of Fun Festival.
Irene?
Irene's Photos and Design, right here on Bay Street.
Also, yeah, new digs.
Are you in your new spot?
Yeah,
All right.
we are. Yeah, finally got it all done.
Good to pop in.
Is that in the corner? Sorry, can I ask?
No, you,
Where
yeah, please.
Yeah, next to Peninsula Feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's what used to be Jack Action, and before that, Mallory's Custom Picture Framing. So, yeah. And Clancy. We can't hear.
Unmute.
Can't hear you, Clancy.
There you go.
There.
Not yet.
Lower left-hand corner is the unmute. It's all right. We're all still mostly before coffee.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh,
that
there he
better?
is. Yep,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Clancy Donlin, a retired kitchen designer, former council member, and I don't have a business. I just love downtown Port Orchard, and that's that.
Yeah, well, glad to have you on. So, okay, Gina.
I'm Gina at Omalands, and I own Essence of the Times Catering right on Bay Street.
Really happy to have you back. So,
Thank you.
Right.
I'm happy to be back.
okay, hold on. I'm going to do something really quick here. Who's next? Go ahead. I think I lost my
How about
spot.
Kathy
Kathy.
Garcia?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
Hi,
Kathy.
Kathy Garcia. I'm with the Port of Bremerton's Marinas.
And how about Jacob?
Okay. Yeah, Jacob.
My name is Jacob Wishoff, and I am the manager of youth programs Coffee Oasis out of Port Orchard. I've been with the company for 12 years, so I can answer almost any question you have.
That's awesome.
Good.
And Shane Wood?
Well, Shane's on there too. Good.
Oh, unmute yourself.
Shane, you're muted.
And whoever else has got last sound, if you could remute yourself. There you go. Lower left, Shane, mute. I know you know how to do this. There you go.
Man, I just had my spiel all presented and I was muted the whole time. I just want to say good morning. My name is Shane Wood. I'm the GM down at Port Orchard Ford. Lovely to see all these beautiful faces. Mayor Rob, Jacob, all of you guys. Let's rock.
And Mayor Rob.
Yep, Mayor.
Morning, Mayor Rob Potansu of the city, and I'm about halfway, coming to you halfway between Monica and City Hall. We're almost neighbors.
It looks like you're somehow in flight.
I'm hovering above City Hall. Yes, I am.
And what about you, Corinne?
Oh, geez. I forgot about that. And Steve's sitting over here too. I'm Corinne Haydock and my husband, Steve Seago, and we own a number of businesses, including the Dock Bar and Eatery. and primarily Waterman Mitigation Partners as well, all downtown.
And what does
So-
Waterman do?
You know, we'll be a program here before long, right, Steve? Maybe 2 months? Maybe September. We do environmental mitigation, wetland restoration, large scale projects, and we have a very large scale one in Kitsap County that we're working very hard on. So yeah, well, you hear more about that later. So your eyes will glaze over. What we do is very weird and complicated. So anyways, hold on, somebody's texting me. Okay. All righty, so this is our last Zoom meeting, which I have mixed feelings about. I do not like getting up early, and I have to get up a lot less early to do a Zoom meeting than I do to get presentable and get in my car and drive down to Port Orchard. But I'm over Zoom meetings. I don't know if we're going to see an increase in participation or a decrease. We've all gotten pretty used to Zoom meetings, but they're not as effective, I don't think, in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of things that are more difficult to do. So we're going to meet live in person starting in July. And that date is July 15th. Location, I think, is going to be Farmer Rosie's at the Josephines. I still need to determine that definitively. And we will meet at 8 a.m. and there'll be a light breakfast. It'll probably be about what we were paying before, which was 10, could possibly have to go up a little bit. It has been, you know, a year and a half going on 2 years. So do stand by for that information. And I hope all of you that can will join us. We're going to make that, excuse me, a social meeting in a way too, because very few of us have been together. Even among the board, we haven't seen each other a lot. So we're going to make that social, and I think we'll continue on with some new member introductions that day. I'm actually not going to be in town. So Kathleen Wilson's going to be running that meeting. So I hope you're all looking forward to in-person Zoom, or no Zoom meeting in person. Whether we do a hybrid, I don't know. That's a little difficult to do. It can get really technically difficult. So I also wanted to tell you that Port Orchard Green Drinks is starting back up again. Some of you may not know what that is. If it's called Green Drinks, it started in Bremerton. Well, it's more of a national program, but Bremerton started theirs quite a few years ago, over 10 years ago, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And then Silverdale did them. And Lena Park Price and Rosemarie Timmerman had just started up Green Drinks in Port Orchard. We had 2 of them. We had one out at Air Masters, and then we had one down at Josephine's in February. And then the next one was supposed to be at the dock at the market in March. And we all know what happened in March. And then we were gonna have it in April, and then we we're gonna have it in May. And so here we are. And we are firing those back up again. And they're basically like a chamber after hours. It's totally social network. It's called Green Drinks because it's supposed to have a ecological bend to it. Mostly bring your own wine glass. So the first one will be Wednesday, July 28th at 5 o'clock, and Waterman Mitigation Partners is going to kick it off and host it. And there'll be more information on POBSA. It's open to anybody. So we have some wine glasses that the first, however many wine glasses I have, I ordered them over a year ago. I don't even remember, but they say Port Orchard Green Drinks on them. And there is a cost of $10 that covers your food and initially a wine glass. And it'll be at our new Waterman office, which is the old swim deck. It's all very confusing. So just watch for some information on that. So
And what time?
5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So
You know, green drinks are green smoothies, right?
yeah, but that's not, it's about
wine
wine and beer.
Oh.
About wine and beer. I know, it's very confusing. So yeah. And I think most of you know the old swim deck, the old clam bake and everything it was in between. We'll be setting up our office there at the end of July. So please watch for that. Let's see. Okay, Kathleen's on, Joshua's on, good. So the other thing I wanted to just mention, I'm not going to go into a lot of event stuff right now because, you know, events are kind of trying to come back, but there's a lot of difficulties and we're all working hard to try to bring more of those back. We do have concerts by the bay every Thursday. If you haven't been down to the waterfront for one of those, do please go support those the Fathoms in the concerts. Actually, Waterman's sponsoring one of those in August. We also have farmers market every Saturday, so and they have music each Saturday. Josephine's is starting. In fact, what's Kathleen or Monica or somebody? Will you guys send a quick text to Sam? She was going to do revival this morning, and I don't see her on here. Josephine's is starting some kind of a car cruise through town or in the back of her parking lot. I'm actually not positive. That starts this Saturday and it'll be the second and fourth Saturdays for the rest of the summer. She also has a pop-up this weekend. Also this weekend is the South Kitsap Senior Graduation Parade through town. And there were a lot of people down for that last year. And we were hot and heavy in the midst of social distancing and it still brought down crowds. So, and I think you all understand why they're doing that because, you know, there was no graduation ceremony last year. And I think it's probably a new tradition. So if you get a chance, come on downtown for that Friday evening as well. That's everything kind of short term. I'll let, you know, some of the other people from our community partners talk about what else is going on in a minute here. I wanted to mention our planters, our sidewalk planters. I know there's a couple of planters that have had some issues with plants being taken out. That's incredibly unfortunate. If you see anybody digging up a plant, running away with it, stop them. We have a few planter sponsors on here and thank you for that. And you do make sure you keep watering. I'm going to send out an email because we might be, is it still weather 90 degrees on Monday? Yeah, we may look at 90 degrees on Monday and those planters. And, you know, honestly, if you want to water a planter that's not yours, I don't think anybody will yell at you. They are mostly covered by the marquee, so they do not get the rain like the hanging flower baskets do. So I think we have Jacob, you guys are going to plant that last planter, is that correct? Yep, so Coffee Oasis is taking over a last one that we thought was adopted and is not. So I think that's going to be a great project for you guys. And just don't worry about the plants, just buy a variety and put them in there and keep them watered. So they all look pretty good right now. We also have our hanging flower baskets. And I want to mention that because we've had a lot of issues with our irrigation system. You know, I'm going to just bluntly say we need some money. If anyone wants to make a donation, we had to make a repair to one block at the beginning of the summer, the market block. Last year, we had a pretty decent sized bill repairing the brick house block and the old Central Antique Mall block. This year, we had a much smaller bill to repair the market block. It was leaking. And the fourth block, the block between Bay Street Bistro and Jack Action, or the Dragonfly block, is the watering system is not on. We anticipate turning on the water at the Dragonfly, perhaps even next week, but then there's about a $700 to $800 to maybe even $900 repair, probably about $750 to that block. And we could use additional donations to repair that irrigation system. So if anybody is so moved or knows a sponsor, we already had 11 individuals and businesses help us buy the flower baskets and do the other repairs, but we could use some additional assistance. So in the short term, and this happened last year, it was a whole nother watering crew, but in the short term, I just want to mention that Kathleen Wilson and Cassie Huck and Joshua Johnson are out there climbing ladders, taking our portable watering system and making sure those 5 or 6 hanging baskets on that block get watered. And I really appreciate that. So, you know, Cassie's not on here, but Josh and Kathleen are. So thank you for that. Yeah, Josh is my son, so he doesn't have a lot of choice. I just said, would you please? And he said, yes. So from there, I'm going to go into we decided today we've got a number of new members, and people don't get together often enough, and haven't in the last year. We wanted to give them some time. So we offered 6 of our new members a chance to introduce themselves and their business. And we've got, we had supposed to have 4 on here. I just see 3 so far. So I'm going to start with Gina this morning from Essence of the Times. I should have given you a heads up, Gina, but just.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, and you're certainly not new to downtown.
No, not at all.
And maybe not even new to POBSA, but a returning member. Is that correct? So yeah, tell us a little bit.
Yes, that's correct. I actually joined the POBSA in 2006 when we opened the kitchen. But in 2007, I had my amazing daughter, Olivia, and I struggled having enough time to do it all. So something had to give. I was that member that was a member but never went to meetings. So I'm super excited with almost a 14-year-old to be back.
Wow.
And just know what's going on in the community and participate where I can. So anyways, again, I'm Gina Omelands, a caterer helping people celebrate the most memorable days of their life. I believe the more memorable part of any event is the food. I started Essence of the Times 18 years ago with a passion serving my friends, family, and community. I've been really grateful for the employees that join the team and help the business grow so we are able to serve more people. A large portion of my business is our weddings. They're the heart of the business and what supports the off season. During the summer months, pre-COVID, we were doing about 8 weddings a week. So this will definitely be a rebuild year for us.
Yeah.
We do many business luncheons, retreats, retirement parties, birthday parties, celebration of life, family gatherings, auctions or fundraisers, and social clubs. I'm super fortunate, and I want to give a shout out to all the locals that regularly order from us, because we're definitely here today because of you. The kitchen is at 817 Bay Street. We provide all off-premise catering, meaning we do all the prep and generally all the cooking there and bring it to you at your home or venue. We pride ourselves on providing like restaurant quality food, even though, we're usually arriving to very little. The larger events, we handle many of the details for the day and provide the full setup. This is why I mentioned most of the cooking at our location. In order to provide the incredible quality, we do offer on-site grilling with like charcoal grills and self-contained setups. So that's a lot about what we serve, or about how we serve, but not what we serve. If you're interested in our lunches, we offer set menus for easy ordering. We offer a boxless lunch, meaning a buffet style, but we're in the works to put the box lunch items back on the website for safe individual serving. We pretty much shut down the kitchen for quite a while through all this. It just was the easiest and the best for us to do. For all the events, we can completely customize any event for menu purposes. We have sample menus on our website, but many of the clients tweak or make it their own. They have their own ideas. But we definitely embrace all the ingredients from the Pacific Northwest, and that's pretty much our style. And then we bring in like the international fusion, whether that be Italian, Mexican, Asian. I'm also proud to say that we hit all the dietary needs. So whether it's gluten-free, vegetarian, these days it's the paleo and the keto, and we'll make it happen. So I'm excited too. We came up with some new styles for like our, we do family style for some of the events, and we've brought in the, to do the exciting Susan, to where you have the tabletop spinners on the table to serve. And there'll just be some really fun styles that we've had the time to create, some really fun things to introduce. So it's exciting to get everything going again. we have a little bit of a down week this week, but then like over the 4th of July, we do revamp to where we'll have 5 weddings that weekend. And so things are definitely picking up, and that's exciting. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Do you have all the help you need, or are you looking to hire?
I am definitely looking to hire. That
Yeah.
has been a struggle.
Yeah, it's
So,
a struggle
yes.
for everyone. You know, at our restaurant, we're okay, but we're, you know, we're looking at, you know, ways that we can make people stay and not go to a higher paying job or whatever, or pay more. But it's not just a problem in restaurants and caterers, it's across the board. So
Yeah, we're definitely in that position. So if
yeah,
if there's anyone out there that has people to send our way, we would appreciate it. You know, for
Yeah.
us, I have such great full-time, almost everybody stayed with me that was full-time, but so many, we call them our weekend warriors, you know, they were anywhere from like insurance agents or bus drivers, and they just did, you know, a Saturday or Sunday for us. And I don't know if that people have decided that they're comfortable with the amount, or they're just excited to get out and do things, but most of them aren't as interested in doing the extra work anymore.
Yeah. And as we all know, quite a few people still are choosing to be on unemployment for now, which is really
Yes.
unfortunate because
Yes.
jobs are available. So hopefully that'll change over the summer. So it's great seeing you, Gina. I mean,
Thank
she
you.
was a chamber member when I was at the chamber a long time ago, and it's been a while since I've had any of your catering, but I remember you did one event for us that was just fabulous. So
Well, thank
it was
you.
a lot of fun. So yeah, and caterers, you know, I think they, in a way, they maybe were hit worse than restaurants, except for little teeny tiny restaurants, because there was no events. You pretty much had to shut down, like you said.
Yeah, it was definitely a slap in the face to realize that I built everything on social gatherings. And that
Yeah.
was what, you know, was a huge, what was affected. So yeah. Thanks.
Hopefully that was a one and done, and we're never going to do this again.
Right. Agree.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back on, and
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you at some more meetings. So.
Yes.
I'm going to switch to Irene now. Where are you, Irene? There she is.
Hi.
Irene's well, you're probably been a member for 8 or 9 months. I mean, you joined during COVID.
I think I joined January.
Yeah. Okay. So just before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, January this year.
Oh, was it this year? Okay. And then you moved downtown. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and tell us about your business.
Yeah, we just moved into our space in December, kind of blessing in disguise, I guess. We were located at the Town Square Mall, and then we do a lot of photography volume, so schools, sports, that kind of thing. Screeching halt, and in December came to a point, what were we going to do? We were sitting at Bay Street Bistro and just happened to look over, and I'm like, is that a for lease sign in the window? So we checked it out, and it worked out for us to take the little space on this side. And then come April, it's been like overnight. Things have just come back and exploded. And there's some days I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but it's been good. I feel blessed that we're able to keep pushing through and get through this. But yeah, we remodeled this whole corner and it's going great. We're having fun with it. I added a little retail side, which I never ever thought I would do, but I thought, why not? Let's try it out and see what happens. But yeah, we do graphic design, photography, videography, every kind of photography I do. I was a graphic designer first before a photographer. Photography just kind of like went along with it. It's always been a hobby that I did. I've worked for the Kitsap Sun and Tacoma News Tribune as a graphic artist and web designer. Got laid off in 2011 from the Tacoma News Tribune. And I'm like, I'll just do graphics from home. I had a lot of clients in Tacoma that stayed with me, and it just kind of evolved. It's just, okay, now I got to, and let me get a space. Let me get a public space. Oh, I like photography. And it just kind of all gone together, and it's all feels like a hobby to me. It really is just fun. I mean, I can work nonstop and people say I'm crazy, but I love doing it. I can edit nonstop, and it's been good. We do try and get really community involved. We're involved a lot with the high school boosters and fundraising for little leagues, and as much as we can. And we are helping out tomorrow with the graduation. I don't know if you see the banner. We put the big 20-foot banner with all the kids' names on it. We just hung it up last night at the brick house. So that'll be there, and then the class can take it and they'll have it forever for their reunions or whatever. We did it last year too, and everybody really enjoyed that. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna have balloons for the kids to come pick up so they can go decorate their cars. We have a photo booth, so we'll have that up, and we give out popcorn. The football boosters will be here with their 100-year flag selling those. So if you need your flag, we'll have them here for $40.
Does that start at 5? Does it start at 5 or at 6?
It's actually at 7.
Okay, it starts at 7. Okay.
It starts at 7. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have an all-day thing. I told the kids 11 o'clock they can start coming down to get balloons. I'll have helium and air balloons for them to decorate. And so yeah,
you do food styling too, don't you? Do like food styling photos and interior home photos and stuff?
Yeah, I do all kinds of product photography, you name it. I've actually done, was a Silverdale Auto Works. They needed a marketing campaign photo session, so we did that. Weddings, we went to Spokane last Friday for a wedding, took off Thursday night, shot the wedding, video, photo booth, everything, wedding, on the road by 10, coming back to do prom on Saturday. So it's just been a nonstop thing. But we pretty much do it all. My son lives in San Diego, and he kind of runs the same kind of business as I do over there. And when we need help, he flies up, and he's our videographer pretty much. So
yeah, you and your husband run your business together, right?
We run it together. Yeah, I do have a couple employees that help out, but it's kind of like what we do. You got to know the programs and all of that. I mean, a lot of people are always willing to help, but they don't know Premiere Pro. They don't know InDesign. So it makes it a little difficult, but we do a lot of it, and we just have fun with it. So
yeah. Are you and you have regular hours now at your storefront?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much 11 to 5 is what I'm doing right now. The store is a little more open Wednesday through Saturday. Kind of feeling it out, see how it goes. But I reached out to local artists and asked them, if you can put a picture on anything, show it to me. And what do you got? I had a good response. So I got quite a few things, and it's very custom, very putting photos on stuff. I have labs that I work with, but I'm like, if I can work with local, why not? So that's my focus on that part. So I've had a good turnout. And I'm not really charging them a lot. I just need people to come in here and book a wedding. Yeah. And they're my pay. And it's happened 3 times already in the last 2 weeks. So it's great. So, and
then they can I was thinking, go next door to Gina's and book a caterer.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because I meet with couples and I give them a bag with information, so Gina, if you want to give me a brochure or something, I can put that in our bag.
I would love that. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I got to get down and talk to her and get her cards.
Absolutely. I've been amazed that we opened the little store. I put my wedding picture up, and my business cards are my wedding business cards are right under that picture. They walk in and see that I booked 3 weddings in 2 weeks. I couldn't believe it. I was
That's
like, okay.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good,
so,
good.
and
The
the little,
brides are super excited to be able to have their weddings. Okay, I
oh
can
my
say
gosh,
that.
yeah, it's just, we're booked till October with weddings. It's
That's awesome.
insane. Yeah.
It is awesome. Yeah.
We do a lot of the sports too, and that like just came back. I mean, as everyone knows, in full force and more. And then the ones that missed out last fall, they're like, let's do it in the summer. So
Yeah.
there's a flag football league we do that's usually in January, and he's like, we're doing it this summer, so we need you guys. And his registration was like 500 kids when it's always been
Oh,
like
God.
250. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's
a
just
lot.
crazy.
So, good.
So
Well, thank you for joining us, and I hopefully you can make it to our live meeting. For those of you who joined in just a little bit late, this is our last all Zoom meeting. We're going to an in-person meeting in July 15th, and you'll hear more information about that. And whether we try to do it hybrid or not, I don't know. As I said earlier, the one in July, that's going to be up to Kathleen, because I'm not going to be here. It's a little bit difficult to do both Zoom and in person, but more to follow on that. We're going to move on to Joshua Johnson, who has some similar offerings from his company as you, Irene, a little bit, but a Serotonin Creative. Joshua, are you there?
I am here. Yeah, no, I don't do. I couldn't handle a wedding or anything like that. That's like a superpower. I don't. Yeah, no, forget about that. I'm sending all those to Irene. My name's Josh. I'm Corey's son. So either don't hold that against me or that's a feather in my cap. All depends. So I am born and raised in SK, and by this lovely woman. So I was raised in an environment that was very community focused, very entrepreneurial, around a lot of community events and board meetings and things like that. So professionally, that's where I'm trying to orient myself now. And what I do is basically it kind of all boils down to communication. And I do work with my wife, digital marketing and communications company. My background is in theater and in writing. And then at the advent in the early 2000s of kind of social media as we knew it, I was traveling around backpacking like a hobo across Southeast Asia and teaching English in Vietnam and spending 4 or 5 hours a day on MySpace blogging. And MySpace was where it was at in back in that day. And just that time telling the stories about travel and kind of this transformative experience. While I was there, I was picked up by a burgeoning travel website that was about 4 months old, to be their kind of first contributing writer. And fast forward today, and they're the largest online travel site. You put together Rick Steves and Lonely Planet, Fedoras, and Nat Geo Travel all together, and their site traffic doesn't compare to this. So I was on their leadership team for about 10 years. So I really cut my teeth in digital communication at the dawn of branded content and social media. So I had the good fortune to be able to work with about 75 countries and tourism boards and fly around the world and do everything from photo shoots to blogging to working with influencers to create storytelling campaigns over the course of a quarter or something like that. And moving back to Port Orchard, spent most of my adult life in Seattle and LA and traveling around. Moving back to Port Orchard, reconnected with somebody I knew from childhood, and that our families knew each other. And we're married now with kids. And she has just an amazing individual named Sarah, and she has a really complementary skill set, photography, graphic design, all self-taught and very, very community oriented as well. Big heart for community. So, I was moving back here from LA. I thought, what am I going to do? I got to commute to Seattle or Bellevue or Kirkland to kind of work in the jobs that I work in. But when I connected with her and we decided to start kind of taking on some projects, we call ourselves Serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. So our slogan is "We feel good" because we want to do work. We want to work with people. We want to do work that feels meaningful with people that are doing good work in the community. So really our focus is Kitsap Peninsula brands and businesses. And we're kind of a Jack and a Jane of all trades. So we do everything from a little web stuff, writing, drone stuff, video, but what gets me fired up is the kind of being the lightning in the bottle, being the creative mind, and helping people communicate and understand and express their values to their peers and their customers and just the community as a whole. And so yeah, long story short, I thought I'd have to do something a lot farther afield than certainly Bay Street or Port Orchard. But when Sarah and I teamed up and we worked on the Imagine Port Orchard project with Corey and Steve and a lot of the other Kathleen, a lot of other amazing community members, that was kind of a big light bulb moment that there is enough bandwidth here, and there are a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of brands and businesses and ones that don't even exist yet that will help create. So that's been I've been back home for about 3 or 4 years, and it's been a really invigorating experience, kind of stepping into that entrepreneurial, freelance small business space in my hometown where I never thought I'd do it. I always thought I'd be like in the big city, grinding away somewhere. So that's us. We have a 3-year-old that just woke up and a new kitten, so she's off camera doing something important, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I won't try to list them for them, but Sarah and Josh are working with a lot of businesses, and one, for instance, is Samantha Smith at Josephine's and Revival, and quite a few other retailers, and adding more all the time. And as he said, doing a little bit of stuff still with Imagine Port Orchard. Any single thing that Steve and I do, we know Josh and Sarah, we can ask them. He works for our business as well. Both of them do for our businesses. Just let her know that there's another campaign we're going to be involved in, and we'll be expecting some graphic work.
Already heard.
So
yeah. And
we're a team.
Yeah, we are. And, we're a husband and wife team, but more importantly, on a meta level, we're a family unit. And I love to work with my brother, work with my mom, my dad. And it's an incredible feeling. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to work in a multi-generational setting and on projects that feel very meaningful and impactful in a small community that you can actually see the needle move in your lifetime. So I feel very fortunate.
Yep. Yeah, and we've got some more stuff coming down the pike that we'll tell you all about later. So that I think everybody's going to be really excited about. So what time is it? Thank you, Josh.
We're going over.
It's 8:37. I do want to have time for some community partner reports, but since Sam couldn't join us today after all, I'm wondering, Missy, are you still there?
I am.
Missy, you want to tell us a little bit about Handmade with Love? I mean, you've been a member for a while, but like everybody else, kind of had to take a back seat for a bit. So
definitely.
Why don't you take a few minutes to talk?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Missy from Handmade with Love. I was previously located right next to the Chamber of Commerce, actually. I shared a wall with them there in Port Orchard, and started out as a consignment store for all handmade gifts, and then slowly added in classes, crafting classes, and have now expanded to I no longer do the consignment for handmade goods. I just focus on crafting classes. So we teach everything from, knitting, crochet, sewing. We do painting classes. We do, Pinterest type classes. Pretty much if you can think it and you're wanting to learn it, I probably know someone who can teach it. So yeah, I am now located directly down next to Gigi's on Bay Street. And so we're only open when we have classes. So if you have questions or anything, you can give us a call, leave a message. I'll definitely get back to you. Our class list is located in our front window, excuse me. And we also have examples of the class, what people would be learning in the front window. And then, of course, our schedule is also on our website at handmadewithlove-wa.com, and then on Facebook. So Handmade with Love, Port Orchard.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
So is the mayor still with us? There he is. We're gonna we brought back community partner reports last month, and we're gonna continue to do those going forward. So we've got a few minutes still here, and so I'm gonna have the mayor and then Fathoms and Kathy from the port talk a little bit about what's going on in Port Orchard or what we're trying to bring back and do. So Rob, you're on.
All right. Thank you, Corinne. You know, it's just really exciting to me to see all the foot traffic returning a bit. You know, I'm quite frequently past Monica on the sidewalk as we're walking our dogs and other folks. I see Kathy too, and other business people. Quite, you know, my dog gets about 6 to 8 miles out of me a day, and or I get it out of him, trying to wear him out. We got a COVID puppy who's growing up fast. He's about 10 months old now. So we've got an exciting park survey going. If you haven't seen the signs, they're on our pathways, they're in our parks, and that's a project that we've partnered with Serotonin on. And Josh, I haven't heard from you in a week. I know we were about 170 participants a week or so ago. Would you happen to have an update for me where we're at on that?
I could pull it up in real time, but I believe yesterday it was over 250. Let me pull it up, then I can chime in again.
Okay, so we had a survey for that we didn't partner with Serotonin on for the Ruby Creek sub-area plan, and 16 people participated, and that's a pretty typical response when we reach out to the public. Unless you're adversely affected, you're pretty apathetic, and we don't hear from you, and that's not acceptable to me. I want to know and what's, you know, how you feel about stuff. And I hope, I mean, our community is growing leaps and bounds, and I hope that we're close, if we're not ready, for a Parks and Recs division in our city. We right now manage our parks with our Public Works Department, and they're the guys that fix water leaks and potholes. And, you know, when those things happen, they take priority over mowing the grass and emptying the garbage in our parks, and because they have to. And so we've got a pretty simple, I think 6 questions on it. You know, what's important to you in our parks? And then we ask you if you're a resident of our city. And then if you are a resident, you get a bonus question of, do you is a Parks and Recs department of the city, for the city, and important to you? And it'll help inform potentially whether we put that on a ballot, because it would be a tax measure, and we'd have a lot of body of work providing what it is you would get for that, what in park improvements, what additional parks potentially. So this is the beginning of, I hope, something much bigger. City revenues, we had a record year, believe it or not, last year, and even though 2 months of the year were virtually shut down, and and we're building on that this year, and it's crazy how much revenue we're seeing. I attribute it to, one, our strong housing market, and when you build a house, there's sales tax on all those building materials, so that's a piece of it. Shane's doing his part, selling cars if he can get them from the factory, it's also the online, you know, the online retail phenomenon, you know, that I think a lot of consumers have shifted to buying things online. And when you buy things online, the dollars go directly to the community where you live, which is helping the city of Port Orchard. We don't have the regional mall, which malls are just being devastated. Well, we have some tourism events on our waterfront. We aren't really we don't have cruise ships or other things of that nature coming to our waterfront. So we haven't been, that's another industry that's been devastated. So we're performing very well. I've got support from so now I have these new dollars, and I'm working through a process with the city council, and I believe they'll take a vote on it next week, but I believe I have the support to add 3 additional employees to our Public Works Department, so we can do more things that are visible to our citizens. And I've got a work plan from my public works department, what they're going to accomplish if I give them the additional bodies. And we're working through, I have at least 3 employees that will retire in the next 3 to 5 years. So if nothing else, if the economy falters, I can manage this back down through attrition. And because you never want to lay people off after you hire them. That's just, that's difficult. Let's see here, the community center, that project is going very well. It's possible next Tuesday night, the city council will approve a purchase and sale agreement between us and Kitsap Bank. I think the deal's almost done, and then they can start designing and building their building, which is going to be probably a 4-year process. And then, so about 4 years from now, you might see, start seeing that water. Well, a couple of years from now, I would think they start that construction, but about 4 years from now on the community center before we would see a groundbreaking. And you see this beautiful city hall behind me here. We built that building 20 years ago for $6 million. And if you've ever looked at the time on the clock tower, there's 4 faces and they rarely say the same time. I'm constantly sending somebody up there to adjust the hands. The roof leaks up there. We've got a big tub that catches water and a sump pump, and then it pumps it out with a garden hose out on the roof. The windows leak, the siding's failing. So we're going through a process of we're going to do weatherization. We hope we're designing it right now. Potentially this fall or next spring, it'll go out to bid, and we're going to put a roof, new siding, new windows. It'll look virtually the same. We're going to modernize the clock tower. It'll look the same, but it'll be modern digital components that somebody from their laptop can fix the time. And much more efficient, and maybe the time on the chimes and the clock faces will be the same. Novel concept, but $8 million it is estimated, but that's what this will cost. One of the cool things we're doing is their governor has a mandate to get off fossil fuels, and currently we heat the building with gas-fired boilers, natural gas-fired boilers. And we're going to get out in front of that mandate, and we'll be all electric. And we plan to put a solar array and make kind of a carport out of it over where the police department is. And we should be able to produce 75% of our peak demand. So on a normal day, we're probably going to be producing all of our own electricity to power City Hall, to heat and power City Hall, which is pretty exciting. So that's what I know today.
Thanks, Rob. I know things are moving and changing constantly, and
so maybe Josh said 250.
Oh, yeah, Josh,
is a number bigger than that?
It's 256 right now.
250.
So I was hoping for a bigger jump. Hey, respectable.
It is very huge, and we're going to keep that survey up till the end of the month, and then we'll in July we'll unveil those results. So I'm looking forward to it.
I sent that survey out to all POBSA members, and I put it on the POBSA, or shared the post from the city on the POBSA page. So if you haven't yet, pardon me?
Can somebody put that link in the chat, please?
Yeah, I bet you Josh can do that. And I'll resend it again because it is open for a while, but it only takes a moment to answer. And again, it's initially aimed at anyone, whether you are actually a city resident or not. I am not, but of course I'm involved in the city. So take a moment and open it up and do that. So
if you're walking the waterfront and you see the sign, it's got a QR code. All you gotta do is open up the camera on your phone and point it at it, and it takes you right to the survey. It's pretty slick.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go to Sharon. I know we all know Fathoms is one of the hardest working volunteer groups in town, and it's a struggle for all of us to get our events and festivals going. And so I want to give her a chance to say what's happening, what's not happening, and what she's not sure about. So Sharon? Are you there, Sharon? I think you're muted.
I will say it's really difficult to express what's in my heart today, and I'm not sure I can.
Okay.
We're facing a lot of restrictions coming from the city, and going into the future, everything will change completely. Our 3-day summer festival has just been denied by the city based on the fact that it says it appears to endanger public safety. The increase in foot traffic of our event and lack of nearby parking for the event creates a public safety risk to pedestrians crossing SR 166. So without our vendor shows, Fathoms has no revenue to come in to support our insurance, our administrative costs. So we rely greatly on our vendor shows to bring us in the necessary revenue that we need. So with that in mind, we do not know if the fireworks will even pass. I have a call out to John Miller today to review what our options are as the contractor with him, because we cannot afford to be out that kind of money. And if restrictions based on the police chief and the fire marshal say that we have to do certain things, then that would prohibit us from having a fireworks show even. Based on the closing of our 3-day summer festival, it's identical to our Fall Follies festival in September. So at this point, we don't know what we will have. And our board, when we met last night to review the email from the city, we would like to canvass the downtown businesses to see whether or not you even want events down there from Fathoms. Because if half the city says, no, we don't want you here, you take away our parking, we close our stores because we don't have businesses, then we really want you to be honest with us and let us know. Because Fathoms is 54 years old. I've been 32 years in this organization, chairing it for the last 10, working my butt off to bring people to town and to this community. And if it's going to be restrictive even more, then Fathoms would fold. It's real simple. There's no other two ways about it. So we would like to canvass the businesses to know, and Helene and I will walk business to business and personally talk to every business owner down there to say, these are the questions we have for you, and give us an answer. So that's my only comment today, other than Big Bear Band is playing on the waterfront tonight. So come down and enjoy the free concerts.
And Corinne, if I may, I've got the real concern is pedestrian safety in the world we live in. Recently, I think everybody saw the headline where the impaired driver who got 7 years in prison that hit a pedestrian in a crosswalk in Kitsap County. The county had a $3 million settlement. We had a very similar settlement here in the last 6 months where someone was walking down the middle of the street at night in the rain. A car comes along and tells this person, you need to get out of the street. Now this person didn't have all of their faculties. The next car that came along hit that pedestrian, and we had a settlement very similar to the Kitsap County. And our primary concern with these events is Harrison Street and Kitsap Transit's bus route. And if we're using both parking lots, we can't have cars and pedestrians in that same area. So we need to limit the scope of the events to one side of Harrison, and not so that the buses can still get through, because we can't have buses weaving through pedestrians. That's the biggest concern we have, is just pedestrian safety. Other events we're gonna operate a little differently. You know, the car show in particular, We've, in the past, we've been the flaggers. So, we park and even chimes and lights. We park a cruiser across in an intersection, and our police officers are flagging. Our police officers need to be out doing, we saw this in Paulsbo, where somebody that on drugs or mentally ill causes a problem in a crowd. And so we need our police officers. We're going to have more police officers than ever at these events. But they need to be doing policing activities. And so we're going to utilize water-filled barriers and signage to close the street versus having a police officer standing there. So we're going to do things differently because we have an obligation to protect the public and have better public safety. That's really what our concerns are. We want to have the events, we want to get to yes, but we've got to protect the public.
Yeah, and I'll add, because I get both sides of it, and I'm a event organizer by nature, so I'm still hoping that we can all make this work. And it's a difficulty because all of a sudden we're open and we're all scrambling to do what we need to do to be open. So I feel Sharon's frustration. So I'm hoping we can all try to make this work going forward in the future. And one thing that we have discussed, Sharon and I and Chief Brown, is having, because this is going to affect everything, including our trick-or-treating, which the last time we did it, there was concern and we discussed it at that time, but we hope to have some flagger certification classes for volunteers so that all our organizations can find volunteers to be certified to be flaggers, because it's not going to be the police force doing that going forward, or at least not all the time. So watch for that information too, because I think that's one thing that will help. I can't change the bus routes, but we can go out and get volunteers who are certified to take on that traffic control role. So, but I'm going to move on to Kathy Garcia, if she's still on, and see
Hi
what she has
there.
to say from the report.
Hi, before I get into my report, events are important to us on the waterfront. I'm confident that we can figure out a way to keep them here while still keeping people safe and liability concerns down. I don't think anybody wants events to go away. I just think we live in a different world and we need to, change is sometimes hard, but I think that we can do it. I think we can figure it out with the certified flaggers and, using maybe the Marina Park a little bit more instead of the parking lots. I just think if we throw enough mud at the wall, we can still make it work. So we're moving on. Our boaters are coming. They love waterfront events. They love the downtown. Chris Craft, they're excited to come. It's going to be scaled down a little bit because of COVID restrictions. We're going to kind of stagger boats. They're looking at probably 35 to 50 boats instead of the normal 75 plus, but we're happy that it's at least coming back. They're one of 3 rendezvous that the entire state is going to be holding. They're kind of a guinea pig for rendezvous, so they're going to be real careful. No big bands, no catered events, but next year we need that essence of time catering information because they do that every year. But we know it's different right now, and we're all going to kind of work our way back into some kind of normal. But I think if we all stay positive and work together, it will happen. I believe in this town. I believe in this community. I'm passionate. The other thing I want to say is I want to invite you guys to participate in our boater bags. Get your information to us. Our boaters are coming in. They love them. And just thank you all for being part of Port Orchard and caring.
Thank you, Kathy. So, and I still have a flyer coming for the boater bag, right, Joshua Johnson? So we're still working on ours from the market, which represents 5 businesses. So
Emailed it to you yesterday.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm also, Steve and I are very passionate about our community, Port Orchard, Kitsap County, Bremerton. And like I said, I do feel Sharon's frustration. I'm hoping we can work this out. And I really don't want to end on a negative note, because there's so much good happening in Port Orchard. And I think it's still years off, but I think even the reconfiguration that's going to happen downtown at one end in the community event center, all those things are going to make it a little easier for us to do the things we've been used to doing, including more parking. So we'll just, I'll keep moving forward and sending, you know, Sharon a virtual hug. So it's 9 o'clock. I had hoped to have a little bit of time to hear from Jacob at Coffee Oasis, but we're going to have you do that. You know, in a future program, Jacob, we'd like to hear more about what Coffee Oasis is doing. So yeah, is there any other closing announcements or comments? Anyone? I don't see any hands raised. Shane, do you have something?
Well, I just want to say, speaking for the Ford store and Bruce Titus in general, we definitely support Fathoms. Really, I believe that what Mayor is saying is true, that we can get to a yes. We just got to figure out some of those logistics. So Sharon, don't give up. It's all about just persistence right now and figuring it out. We like someone just said, if we just keep throwing mud at this thing, we can put it together. So, you know, have faith and good things happen.
Yeah, yeah. Shane and I are both on the City of Port Orchard Police Community Task Force, and we have a meeting next Thursday too. So with lots to discuss. So any other thoughts or comments, Chris?
Map.
Walking map, thank you. I forgot, and it's on my list. We are moving forward with our walking map very quickly. One of the things we're going to do is from the businesses that were logged in today, we're going to draw a winner for a free ad in the walking map. So cross your fingers, you might be the lucky person. And if you're not, we have ads that are such a reasonable price of $75. Everybody who is current with their dues, let's say by July 1st, I think that's what I said in the newsletter, will be noted in the walking map, you know, on the map if you're a downtown business. But we also have 10 or 11 or 12 ads, correct?
Right, the back page is ads.
Yeah, so, and again, they're only $75. So you can just tell us right now in a chat that you want an ad. If you want a bigger ad, well,
there's Shane.
I was just going to say, Shane. So yeah, so, and we're also going to, you know, and we actually have several sold already, including a couple that were paid for, back in the pre-COVID days, and then we didn't do a walking map. So we we'll add those too, and it shouldn't take us long to produce the map because it'll be pretty much what we always do, just with a change in ads and a change in a few business locations. So we know we need to get that out there because people are in town. People are coming to town in boats, in cars, and bicycles. They're coming to town. So please let us know. I see some people letting us know, and or email us at POBSA, POBSA info, INFO at gmail.com. So anything else, Chris?
Nope, that's good.
Thank you.
Could I get several? Yeah, you could actually.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry I forgot that. I was supposed to lead off with that. So, and again, maybe one of you will win an ad. So, and if you just said you would do an ad and you win an ad, I think you'll have to have two then, because we can't let the paid one go. Anything else? It's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's Father's Day this weekend. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And all of us had a father somewhere along the way. So don't forget them this weekend. Any others? Okay. And live in person, July 15th. I won't see you there because I'll be in France, but
what time are the concerts, Sharon? What time is the concert?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30. Yeah.
I'm going.
Okay. Good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.